Good afternoon to the Deputy Premier, ministers of the government, parliamentarians, members of the media, and to the wider public. Today, you would have heard the government's 2011 throne speech. We focused on 8 key themes: job creation, strengthening our economy on our road to recovery, exploring new opportunities, empowering our youth, supporting those experiencing hardship, expanding the social pact we have with the people of Bermuda, fighting crime and enhancing our justice system, improving service delivery and accountability in the public service. Masakani, let us build one another together. This statement is the theme of the government's 2011 throne speech. We live in tough times. However, Bermuda has always come together during difficult times. We came together during Hurricane Fabian. We came together during the Balco fire, and we must again come together to help each other during this current economic crisis. Let us build one another together. This year's throne speech is a result of a government that has listened to a wide variety of individuals and groups. We have challenged ourselves to be bold, and as a result, I'm particularly proud of this government and our throne speech, which outlines initiatives that are achievable and that encompass subjects that will touch the lives of all of our citizens. We cannot build one another together while persons are unable to find work. Jobs are the #1 priority of this government. And that is why in the throne speech, you have heard a number of initiatives that not only provide jobs now for Bermudians, but also provide incentives to enable employers to create jobs for Bermudians in the future. No one should have any excuse to choose a life of crime versus constructive engagement to contribute to the community. And we must provide our people with a clear path to re-enter the workforce with skills for a career that is relevant over the long term, to provide them with the lifestyle they aspire to. As a result, we will unveil Job Corps in the second quarter of 2012, and we will also establish a Cisco training academy. For our people to succeed in the 21st century, we must ensure that they have 21st century skills. And we must look beyond tomorrow and plan for the future. And we need to welcome foreign investment to our shores. And that will also mean introducing bolder measures to free up Bermuda. We need to make sure that our economy is diversified and our tourism product is modernized. And that is why I am particularly pleased to announce the joint partnership between the government, the Corporation of Hamilton, and the private sector, with the involvement of Bermuda First, to develop the waterfront in the city of Hamilton. We cannot have a 21st century tourism product with a 19th century harbor. Partnerships such as these are what Bermuda needs, and that is how we build one another together. As a government and as a country, we should also be prepared to have those crucial conversations, even when they are on thorny issues. And that's what 21st century government and 21st century leadership is about. Therefore, we intend to review the Defense Act to ensure that it is still relevant in a 21st century Bermuda. Ensure that incarceration is not the first choice for dealing with our youth who may choose the wrong path. Decide whether gaming has a role in our tourism product. Seek to address issues of inequality and going on to further advance age discrimination and to correct and counter that. We want to improve our health insurance system. You certainly heard the loud and sustained applause when there was the talk of work and efforts underway to remove the need for upfront payments to doctors. We also wish to ensure that support is given to those most in need. These issues will garner a great deal of discussion and possibly angst in some quarters. But if we are to progress as a country, there cannot be any no-go subjects that we treat as taboo for discussion and dialogue. The governor included in his codicil some remarks at the end of the speech that I would like to underscore. He stated that we must support the charitable community in Bermuda. Part of building one another together is working in partnership, and this includes working in partnership with charities. Bermuda is blessed to have so many charities that are committed to helping our people and our community. And this government has committed to formalizing as a social pact with the private sector, charities, and sports organizations to ensure that we work together for the betterment of Bermuda. Before I close, I certainly would like to thank the many persons who contributed their ideas to the throne speech. There was a special working session of cabinet, which was then morphed into a wider discussion with the wider caucus of the Bermuda Progressive Labour Party government. So members of the PLP caucus, the Central Committee of the PLP, and the wider public have had involvement and input, not necessarily to the specific drafting, but certainly they provided a rich and resourceful ideas brain trust. I'd also like to thank the many Bermudians who have spoken to us, talked to us, met with us, and given us their support, recommendations, and encouragement. And this is their throne speech as much as it is the government's. Over the next few weeks, the government will be taking the throne speech to the people. Ministers today will be relatively muted because they will be in the forefront over the next couple of weeks on their various ministerial portfolios, talking to you and through you to the wider public. And we certainly want to hear from you and make sure that you engage. We cannot build one another together without your input, and it is welcomed. The world is in economic crisis. The leaders of the world's largest economies are right now struggling to plot a course forward as their competing national interests threaten their vision of shared prosperity. They are paralyzed as they are not willing to come together for the greater good. Will Bermuda follow their example? Will our differences distract us from making shared progress together? Will the desire of some to refight old battles cause us not to act? As a country, we must accept the fact that if we are not all winners, then we will certainly all be losers. Building one another together is not just a theme, it is an imperative. And while we can only achieve success together, the government must take the lead to energize our stakeholders and our citizens. And this government intends to be progressive in its policies and progressive in its actions. And this government is ready to lead and won't duck the responsibility of making decisions. We are committed to empowering our people to succeed and building a Bermuda, not just for tomorrow, but for the foreseeable future. We will listen, we will consult, and we will take action. So let's build one another together. Masakane.